Leanne. I'm from Eventmaster, and we're joined as well today with Denise and Aaron from Cycling Ireland. If it's your first webinar with us, you'll notice your cameras and mics are going to be turned off by default. So if you want to ask any questions as we're going along, you can pop them into the Q&A box or the chat option at the very top of your screen there. We'll probably get to them if we see them coming in as we go along. And I think there was a few kind of queries that people had filled in when they were signing up. So we'll kind of cover those few bits as well as we're going through the different sections. So the webinar is going to be recorded. So if at any point you need to jump off, that's no problem. We'll be circulating the recording once the webinar is over. But yeah, you're very welcome. Aaron, Denise, anything from your side before we kick off?
No, I'm good on my end.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm all good as well.
Lovely.
Thanks, Jan.
So yeah, just an overview of what we're going to cover throughout the webinar is the process, so the kind of flow of how your events get set up. We're going to go through the actual event editor, so for any changes you want to make yourself or any changes we can do for you. The built-in marketing tools. I think that was one of the common queries that came in from the registration form as well about how you can promote your events. Managing orders, your reports, fundraising options, support resources, and then at the very end we'll leave some time for Q&A just to go through potentially any questions you might have missed as we go along. Again, if there's anything you want to cover outside of this, we'll be doing this as part of a webinar series. So if there's any particular support resources you think would be useful, definitely let us know. And pop in any questions there in the chat box and the Q&A as we go along. So the first section to kick this off, I think Aaron and Denise, you're probably better than me to talk about the flow of what you go through when it comes to setting up the event.
Yeah, so this aspect is kind of broken into two parts. So I'll cover the first bit, which is around the permit application, and then Denise will touch on the ticketing side of stuff once the permit has been approved. So everybody who's in here, I'm assuming, probably has official access through their affiliated CI club to be able to submit permits. I won't touch too much on the sort of membership side and all the different positions within the club to give you access to do permits. That's a separate membership query. But in terms of submitting permits, it's open to two groups. We have promotion groups and we have affiliated CI clubs. I'll focus on the clubs for now as opposed to the promotion groups. So as a club official, you will have access to submit permits. Typically, there'd be 5 or 6 members within your club who have access to do this. You log into the standard membership portal, and then you'll go to submit a permit. And then once you're in the permit application stage, that's really step one in getting your event up and running with CI. So this is where we would capture all of the initial data. At the moment, it's pretty standard, but it's something in the future we're wanting to build on because we feel as though step one is where we need to gather all the essential information for events. So at the moment, we've got standard date, event name, location, HQ, long latitude, event organizer information. For sportives, it's a bit more straightforward. For competitive events, for those of you who have submitted competitive events, you'll know how it is in terms of ticking the different categories. So the ability categories, the women's specific ones, the age groups as well. So if you're doing youth events, there's separate tick boxes there. Essentially, once you've worked through the permit application, which it is super straightforward, there's nothing confusing in there. It is, you know, it tells you exactly what you need to submit. There's nothing overly confusing in there. Once you've submitted the permit application, depending on the type of event it is, will vary in how long it takes to approve your event date, which is the first step in the permit application, is that your date needs to be approved. You know, I won't go into the whole processes that we have behind the scene as to approving the dates, but obviously with various commissions and different provinces, it can take a bit of time, and we have to go through a few different people just to make sure that it's all above board through the correct channels. Once your event is approved, it will then automatically move on to the risk assessment upload phase. And at the same time in doing that, it will create an event draft, which Denise will talk about in a second. Just going back to the risk assessment stage, which is where your permit will automatically move on to once your date is created. You'll receive a confirmation email. In that confirmation email that your date has been approved, there'll be a risk assessment attachment in there. That's a risk assessment you would use at the moment to basically put all the risk details in for your event. You then re-upload it to the permit. We review the risk assessment. If we're happy with it, we'll approve it. If there's stuff that need tweaked within the risk assessment, we'll liaise with the event organizer just to make sure that the risk assessment is all above board. I won't go too much into the risk assessment stuff at the moment. At the moment, there is only one standardized risk assessment that we use across all events. The intention is to make it more discipline specific, because those of you who are in here that do mountain biking, I'm sure you'll agree that the current risk assessment isn't suited to mountain bike events very well. Experienced mountain bike event organizers, whether it's downhill, enduro, cross country, they tweak the risk assessments in their own way because they've been doing it for a number of years. And so we're definitely aware that we need to look at developing risk assessments for each specific discipline. So that's something we'll be working on at the moment, but for now, there's just a one standardized risk assessment. That's essentially the crux of the permit. It is pretty straightforward, and there's only a few steps in it. The one thing I would say about the permit is that your event is not officially sanctioned by CI, which essentially means it's not covered for insurance until the permit is approved. At the moment, it's every event we have permitted, which is 450 odd events. We haven't got any issues with them. In the past, there's been a number of events whereby they would leave the risk assessment until the last minute. And in doing that, you run the risk whereby if we don't get a chance to approve your risk assessment, if you upload it at 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, we're not going to be able to check it. And if you're running an event on a Saturday morning or a Sunday, then you run the risk that your event is running unsanctioned. So it's super important that you get the risk assessment in on time. We advise a month in advance. That just gives us time to review it. If you need to make changes, you can make changes. But it's important to note that until your risk assessment is approved, your event is not sanctioned. It's we can set up the ticketing platform, have that open for entries without the risk assessment being approved. That's okay. But as the event organizer, it's important for you to note that it's your event. You are liable for completing the risk management aspect and uploading it in a timely manner. Once we approve it, your event is sanctioned, and then it's all good to go. But just make sure that all the official documents you do, and if you're liaising with any county councils or anything like that, you just do it in a timely manner. It's just essentially to avoid doing stuff 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, which organizers don't want to be doing, and then it's going to be difficult to get hold of Denise and myself. That's really the permit application side. So as I said, when the date's approved, it creates a draft template on the ticketing platform, which I'll hand over to Denise now, and she can kind of pick it up from there.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, so the minute that the permit is the date is approved of your permit, that's when the draft's created. So we can get your event live even before, like Aaron was saying. I think a lot of clubs I find are can we get the risk assessment approved? We want to get our event live ASAP, and it's not something, it's like case by case basis. Like if we can get your event set up in the meantime, it doesn't have to be risk assessment approved anyway. So yeah, so basically the permit date is approved, your draft is created, and you're going to have access to this draft in your login setup. Leanne is going to go through a few details about that in a minute, but yeah, so it's created. Then basically what you can do is then you will, for the event setup form, so there's two different forms, one's for leisure at the moment and one's for competitive, and it's just so if you fill out that form, you can get it on the CI website, and it's basically a leisure form for an event or a competitive event, and it's just all the information we need to get the event live for you. But as well, you have access to do this, go in and put in the information. There's some aspects of it we'll have to check, like only federation access will have, for example, if it's a competitive event, and it's just what categories are allowed, race in the event, things like that we'll be checking. But yeah, basically how you want to set up your event page, you can put as many bells and whistles on it and make it look a certain way as much as you want, and Leanne will go through all that now with you in a minute. And then so when it's ready to go, we'll just have a quick look over it, make sure everything's okay, and then it's basically live on the system, live on the calendar, CI calendar. And yeah, so admin, teams, access. Yeah, so basically you're going to have access to it, so you can take ownership of it. That's what we want to do. I think when we first kind of we're using Event Masters platform, there was a little bit of hand holding with a lot of event organizers, but we want event organizers to take control of it and go in and edit the event and just send one email saying it's ready to go, and then it's going to speed us up, because like we have over 1,000 permit events coming in through our system every year, so it is quite busy. So to speed up things for us and yourself, to get your event live as early as possible, so you can get as many, ticket sales as possible. That would be the way of doing it as such. But it'd be easier now just to explain a few more things when it's kind of in front of the screen, like when Leanne, you're going through a few of the features.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. And but like we've really added a lot more supports in terms of like video guides, tutorials, PDFs, of all the kind of features and customizations you can add to it. If you're not techie, don't worry. We try and make it as user friendly as possible. And as well, even if I imagine for a lot of your events, there's going to be a committee and different people in the club involved. So if there's anyone that needs access to the event as well to help with you, you can request for them to be added as well. If they feel more comfortable editing, customizing things for you. So yeah, are you guys okay for me to head into the editor now?
Yeah.
I might get asked for a thumbs up from our attendees as well, just to make sure my screen sharing is all going okay. One of the main queries that came in from this was about promotion and ticket sales. So I'll go through these few slides and then I'll show you them step by step and the practical parts in the event editor as well. So the three main areas we have in terms of the built-in marketing tools would be on event visibility, engagement and rewards for your attendees, and a lot of options in terms of social media integration too. In terms of visibility, your event is obviously going to be on the Cycling Ireland calendar, and it'll be on the Event Master calendar on our website as well. So again, huge traffic going to those places every single day. If you do have multiple events on the platform as well, there is a cross promotion section. When your event is published, you'll also have a QR code at the very top of the screen as well. So this basically is really handy if you're doing any printed ads or posters, you have that ready to go there as well. For anyone feeling more advanced, we do have Google Analytics that can be built into each event as well if you want to track visitors to your event page and do any more advanced integrations there. And we do have built-in SEO. I think the SEO sounds scary to everyone, but we've done a lot of work in the back end on this, so I'll show you that in the event editor as well. For engagement and rewards, we can do newsletters. You can send out newsletters as well for your own events within the platform. For discount codes as well, a lot of people would make use of this in terms of early bird offers, or specific discounts for, say, club members and things like that. Fundraising is a huge part, and a lot of organisers as well. The feedback we get is that it's a major marketing tool as well, and we'll bring you through that as well separately. And price tranches. So for price tranches, essentially you can do scaled increases on your ticket prices, and throughout the whole platform. What we've seen is that nothing drives sales like an early bird running out within 24 hours, or that kind of time crunch. So again, all those options are there for you. For social media, then you can link your Facebook page, Twitter. We do have a Facebook Pixel integration now as well. So if you're doing any Facebook ads, essentially you can retarget people who visited the event page. Again, very straightforward as well in that regard. It's literally just copy and paste in your Pixel code into the event editor. And then again, the fundraising and social media go hand in hand. So we'll take you through all that as well. Again, any questions so far? Don't think there's any after coming in yet. So yeah, the Q&A and the chat box are just at the top of the screen. So again, feel free to pop these in here at any point, and we can answer you guys. So I'm in our test organizer profile here with our draft events. So essentially, when you log in to the platform, you're going to have a manage event section, and this will by default show you your events. So I'll go into one that we've already set up to take you through the different options. So yeah, what I just did there, you can click on edit on any of your events. So what you'll see once your event is published, you'll have your event URL, and this is the link to your event. If your event is still in draft, you'll see a preview URL. So this is really handy if you want to test what everything looks like, and do test out the order form and see what the whole process looks like. So really handy if you've made any changes and you want to see what to preview those. Your event QR code. This will basically give you a QR code for your event. So you can just save that as an image as well, and use it for any of your printed marketing materials. You'll notice as we go through here, so for permitted Cycling Ireland events, there's going to be you won't have access to edit all the information. So anything that's directly linked to the permit, you won't be able to edit this yourself. But you can just send a note to the guys on Cycling Ireland, and they'll be able to update any non-editable fields for you. Your short description and event detail section, and just to show you here. So this is your short description, and then your long event description is here. This, again, you can add as much or as little into this as you want. I know there's a feature that participants must marshal around, or at least take on a marshalling role as well. Would love to see how that works. Would that be like a volunteer ticket type? I'm not sure I understand the question fully. Aaron, Denise, you might have a better idea.
Yeah, some clubs, when you're signing up for an event, make you sign up basically to marshal one round or take on a marshalling role as well. Yeah, so how, what club does that? For example, Newry Wheelers does that, and how we've helped them to do that is in the order form. So you can, where you're collecting all the information for the rider. Yeah, we just add in another question basically saying which event would you like to marshal, and then we'd add in manually the lists of them. So that's added in order form there, Leanne.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
you could and if you want, there's with the order form, I'm sure you're going to go through it. It's just one of the last tabs, isn't it? But are you going to go through that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, perfect. So Leanne will go through that, because you can add in anything. Like if you wanted to collect any information, such as which round would you like to marshal as part of your membership. Newry Wheelers have done that before, and it's quite handy.
I'll just jump in and show you while you're here. So what I did there, for your order form, you'll notice there's a lot of built-in questions, so common questions that you can just tick for them to be visible. So visible means that they're on the order form and the person can fill it in if they want to. Required means they have to fill it in order to continue. So if you want to make a question mandatory, essentially that's what you do. So for example, in this option, gender is an optional question. They can fill it in if they want it, but they don't need to in order to complete the checkout. For custom questions, we can add these for you. I'll just show you. So you can add in new sections. So new section will just give you a heading. It's very straightforward. And the custom field is your custom question. So you'll just select the section you want the question to appear in. The most common one would be a drop-down option. So I'll just say what area would you like to marshal? And the field code, this is essentially what is in the heading of your booking report. So for these ones, it should just be all one word, or if you need to have two, we'll just put in a little dash there for it as well. So just put in marshal area. For the drop-down options, you'll need to pop in what they are. Instead of adding them individually, the quickest and easiest way to add different options is just to type them in here. I'll just say area A, area B, and area C. And I'm going to add them to the list of items. And I'm just going to hit save. And I'm going to save again on the event. And I'll just tick that now so it's visible. And hit save again. So now if I refresh my link here, my online sales, just show you. Sorry, I'm firing through it now, but you have the online ticket sales. What I'm doing here, just so I can show you how it's working. You can control when your online sales open and close. So for example, the event might be published now, but you might want to say hold off on ticket sales till Friday or a specific time or date. So I'm going to, the sales are open, so I'm going to close the sales, say, next month. So I'm just selecting the month and the year, and you just click on whatever day you want to stop the sales from the drop down. And then again, the time is done in a 24-hour format, so you can just select that there as well. If these aren't filled in, the sales will automatically stop once the event has taken place. I'll just save that now so you can see it. So I will put on this. So you'll see now I have my what area would you like to marshal question, and then I select in any of the different area options. Again, that's a very quick run through, and you can probably do a more in-depth more different wording and stuff on your own questions. But
no, yeah, but it's good to see that. So it's not just a marshalling, like which event throughout the year you're going to marshal for the club. Like it's well, you can add in as any information you want to collect from somebody signing up. So it's good to see that run through. Thanks, Leanne.
For some other organisers as well, probably not necessarily cycling, but you can set up, say, a free event that's like a volunteer registration, so you'd have all your kind of volunteer information separately, and like that you could keep that event open for like the whole year. So again for like free kind of registration, things like that, it's totally free to set it up, because there's no ticket cost, if that makes sense. So there's no charge on it. So that would be another option for you guys as well. Perfect. Don't think there's any other questions after coming through. So yeah, so this is your event name, your short description, long description, your genre. Obviously for you guys it would be cycling. This is their first kind of marketing kind of feature. So these are your keywords. So for your search engine optimization, so if people are searching for entertainment events in Limerick, in this example, it just helps your event to be found more visibly online. So you can add in any of your own keywords. So for example, if somebody is searching for your club, your club name, for this example, I'll just say our club name is Club 123. I can type that in and add it, and it'll appear in our own custom keywords there then as well. So again, very straightforward to add those in. Your event time zone, by default, it'll be Ireland. You can customize, I think for your event city, that's probably default populated from your permit because it's linked to your location. For the currency and duration, again, this will be defaulted to euro, but it could be dollars or sterling as well. The booking time limit, for participation events, we usually recommend having a booking time limit of 30 minutes. Just because generally you're collecting a lot more information at the order form stage, so it gives people a chance to fill it in. And therefore having a cup of tea or in the middle of doing something else, they can, stop and come back to it, and it won't be timed out. The online ticket sales we went through, you have the option to hide these dates on the event page, and these aren't hidden on ours. So just to empty my basket and go back. You'll see it here. So online ticket sales are available between the 1st of February and March 30th, 2024. So it'll appear there. Likewise, say if you're launching ticket sales on a particular time and date, basically it'll show that in just like large letters to say that the tickets are going on sale, say on like the 1st of March, in those examples. In the event contact section, so again, this would be pre-filled, I think, with permanent information, but you can change it. So if you have, say like a club general email address that you want to use for queries about the event, this is what we populate here. So this isn't visible on the front end, so people won't have your phone number or your email. What it looks like here is if somebody clicks on the contact organizer button on the registration page, they can basically type in their name, their email address, and message. And if they click on send message, it will send a system email to you to say, Mary Murphy has a query about event 123, and it'll have her details, and you can just get back to Mary directly. For some organisers, they like to put their mobile number or email in the event description as well, so it's visible, but again, totally up to you. For your event website, this will be available publicly, and this will be listed just above here. A lot of clubs as well would have, if you don't have a specific event website or club website, it could be a Facebook page, any kind of link that you want people to be able to access easily as well. There's a lot of different functionality here. Again, if you're looking for any specific feature, just you can reach out for any kind of help. But we don't operate a tiered system, so all the kind of different features that have been added on for different organisers throughout the year, or throughout the years, I should say, are there. For the event search visibility, this is what controls your event being in the calendar. You can turn it off, but by default, you're going to be shown in the event calendar. You can opt to hide the ticket fee column at the start of the booking process. I'll just take that off for a second just to show you. Click save. So this is what it looks like with the ticket fee hidden. So it just says €10. If I refresh that now, it'll put a fee column here. So it's like the breakdown of the 7% charge or €1 flat fee for the tickets under €14. For this one, you can hide the cross promotion section. I think because there's so many different permanent Cycling Ireland events, I think by default the cross promotion would be hidden on a lot of them as well. Allow editing person data in Manage My Booking. This I think is a huge one for a lot of organisers. So if you want people to be able to make changes to their booking, so if they want to change their address, change their t-shirt size, change their contact details, this is where you can turn that on and off. Similarly as well, for these kind of membership events, they won't be able to say edit their name or any important information. So you do have to have the option as an organizer to enable ticket transfers. So what this does is it allows people to transfer their ticket to another person. And so basically you can turn it on here. Optionally, you can put a transfer charge. So it just means somebody will have to pay, say, €10 or whatever amount you would like to transfer their ticket to another person. That goes directly to your connected Stripe account as well. Again, it's a really handy feature, I think, for events that do sell out faster and in really high demand. You can open and close it on a specific dates. Again, a lot of events would have just specific transfer windows that would be quite strict. So you have, say, a very up-to-date booking report, the week before your event or however soon you want to turn this off. You can turn it on for specific ticket types as well. So if you didn't want people to change on a particular ticket, again, that can be fully customized as well. And another kind of Manage My Booking changes option is that they can change their ticket types. I think for a lot of cycling events, the ticket types could be like a specific distance. So they want to do, the 200 kilometers instead of 140 ticket. So if you have your tickets set up that way in terms of the distances are set up as tickets, they can switch their distances themselves. So it just means when they log in and click on View Order, they'll see a change ticket type option. If it's say a cheaper ticket type, it doesn't automatically give them a refund. But say, for example, if they wanted to upgrade their ticket to, say, a higher distance that does have a higher price than they have paid originally, they'll be sent a payment link to pay the difference, basically, in order to make that change. So again, all fully automated and puts your, gives your ticket holders control if you want to give it to them. I'm skipping way ahead there, but just in terms of support guides for ticket holders, if somebody was getting in touch with you and they wanted to change their distance and you have transfers turned on or things like that, we do have an organizer hub that was launched late last year for any of you that do have events on the platform. So basically you can come in here and it's where all our resources are kept. So any kind of new features or webinar recordings and things like that, they are all added in here. But all you have to do is say, I'm just going to search for a transfer. it'll show you all the resources related to these. So in this example, there's an organizer guide for transfers, so how you can set it up yourself and the different options you have. And then there's a user ticket transfer guide as well. So for example, if somebody reaches out to you and they're like, oh, like I want to transfer my ticket, you don't have to explain it all for them. You just need to copy the link and send them the link to say, oh, hey, here's the guide. It has all the screenshots there of the different steps they're going to go through. So again, really useful and saves time for you in terms of support as well. So that is our in-depth detail section. I'll just save as we go along. For the dates, again, these won't be editable because they are linked to your permit specifically. What you can do is enable the quantity override. So again, I have a load of test tickets gone through on this one. But for example, if you wanted to cap entries on a particular time slot, you can put that in there. So you could have 1,000 adult tickets, 1,000 general entry tickets on here, but if there is a €5,000 or 500 limit, it will stop sales at that amount and automate it for you. A big one as well that should be useful are the event reminders. So by default, 24 hours before the event, your ticket holders are going to get an automated email to say, reminder of your upcoming event. This is the link to your ticket. But you also have the option to add in extra wording to this default email as well. Again, I have screenshots in the organizer hub as well in terms of what everything looks like. But for example, if you were doing say like race number collection, like mandatory race number collection, like 48 hours before, you can put that information in here to say, bring this equipment. If you wanted to put, you know, parking information about what's happening on the day that you wanted to go out automatically with everyone's tickets. Again, it's a really way just to type in arrive 15 minutes before or anything like that, without having to make a full-blown newsletter to everyone. And that'll automatically go out to all the people that are taking part in this specific time slot. So again, you can change it if you do have multiple time slots. I must use this in my last test example. But yeah, then as well, again, you can, by default, there'll be a 24-hour reminder. You can turn it off just by deleting it if you'd like as well. Or say, like in the example of your webinar, you would have gotten a 24-hour reminder yesterday, and then there was a 1-hour reminder just before the event there as well. So you had your webinar link. Your venue, again, this isn't going to be editable for you because it's linked to your permit. But again, the quantity override and the event reminders are two kind of handy admin side of things that will completely automate things for you. I won't be able to save as we go along. I'll do it in the future. Any questions so far? I think we might have a chat option. Perfect. The 1st of March and 22nd. Perfect. For your tickets, so again, I think Denise and Aaron, you might have better off the top of your head, but I think the most common kind of ticket setup would be the different distances. But again, there's loads of different options here as well. In this example, so basically, you can name your ticket, set the available quantity, set your price, and it's very straightforward. What you can do as well, say for example, if you wanted to have, say, a specific VIP ticket type that you wanted to hide, that, you know, say if it was like a cheaper option for like €5 or any amount, if you put an access key on a ticket, it will hide it from display. So people will need to, say, put in that, it's like a password for all the world. So you can basically password protect a ticket. So the person booking would need to enter in that code in order to enter, or in order to get that ticket type. There's a lot of other options here as well. So for example, if you wanted to hide a specific ticket type for any reason, you can hide it here. Or you can just say show it during a specific date period. By default, all your tickets will be shown. You don't even need to go down to the advanced settings if you don't want to. You can restrict the amount of tickets a person can book at one time. So by default, the minimum is 1 and the maximum is 10. But say, for example, if it's a really high in demand event, you might want somebody to just book 1 ticket at the one time. Date field limitations. So say, for example, if you had a specific ticket type and you wanted the person booking that to be, say, over the age of 18 or within a specific age group, you can restrict that here as well. Aaron, Denise, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the cycling events, depending on the membership number they enter and their date of birth, that will all be automated for you, so you don't need to.
With leisure events, that is something that pops up a little bit. So if they want to have under 16s taking part, that they'll have a cheaper ticket. So for them, so you can do the date field limitation for an under 16 ticket option. But
Perfect.
But there will be limitations built into on the competitive events. That's right.
Perfect. Again, there's loads of different options here. I don't want to get too bogged down and not get through all the different content. But all the guides will be on the organizer hub. I can circulate that link as well to everyone after the call too. For your design, you can upload any kind of your own custom banners or your logos. If you click on the image button, basically you can just select any kind of file or image from your computer. And again, this kind of this will give you the first kind of preview of what your event will look like. The order form we went through, so visibility and the required questions. And for all your participation events, it's important that it's always a customizable form per ticket. So customizable form per ticket would be that everyone, say if I register myself and my 3 friends, I need to enter 3 people's details and not just 1. But yeah, another big one as well in terms of the if you want to put any specific race waiver or terms and conditions specific to your event. Again, this will be built in for you, but if you want to make any edits, you would customize the text that's in the default value. So for example, if you had like a no refund policy or anything along those lines, you can populate that in here as well. That would be another common one. For your tickets, it would just be this is what your tickets will look like. Your logo will be pulled in by default. There are options as well to add in a custom field, but by default you have all the important information on your ticket points as well. The social integration is where you put in your Google Analytics. So again, this is where you would just put in your Google Analytics code and your Facebook Pixel ID. Again, those are the 2 more advanced options. We can help you getting those set up if you need to. But the most simple way is just to copy and paste your Facebook page, and we have a Twitter option there as well. So what this does is basically puts your Facebook page link and your Twitter link on the event page, so people can follow you directly from from that there. But yeah, for the notifications, this is your confirmation email that is sent to ticket holders. So again, very similar to the event reminders. So for the confirmation email, this is what's sent to people as soon as they've completed their booking. So you have the option to enable custom templates. So by default, it will always say their order number, the event name, the link to their ticket, but it gives you the option again to add in any other custom text. So again, if you want to make people aware of something very specific the minute they book the event, you can type that in here, and that'll be sent to them as soon as they've made their booking. That is an option there as well. For a lot of people, if you're putting anything here, it's highly advisable to put it into the event reminders too, just because people could be booking a few months in advance, and you know, it could be information that they need closer to the event then as well. Additional purchases, you can sell merchandise as well through the event. So if you have t-shirts, packs, water bottles, anything like that, bus transfers, postage would be a big one. We can set that up for you. If you want to partner with a specific charity, or maybe it's an event that's fundraising for your club specifically, you can set up a donation, or again, any kind of merchandise here as well. So you're just going to name it, put in a description. You can upload any images, set the price for it, and that'll be available then for people when they're booking then as well. I don't want to go into too much into the nitty-gritty of the full setup. For another kind of really common one as well would be access codes. So just to show you, you can restrict access to your event. I'll just click save and just show you here now. So this basically puts a password on the whole event. So I'd have to enter in an access code to get into the event as well. So it can be done on the whole event. It can be done for particular tickets. Again, a load of different options there in those. For fundraising as well, another huge area, we will be having a separate fundraising webinar on this as well, for both clubs to fundraise for yourselves, and as well, I think there's a lot of events that have had huge success in terms of partnering with different charities on their events. So there's over, I think there's actually nearly 300 onboarded now since we've started the fundraising integration. But essentially what it means is when somebody is registering for their event, they're going to fill in their normal details in the order form, and by default they're asked if they'd like to set up a fundraising page, and as soon if they say yes, they'll automatically get a link to their fundraising page as soon as the registration is finished. For clubs, for example, if you're having any specific events for your club as well, you can onboard your club as a benefactor, and have yourself available there too. There's a load of different options in terms of partnerships and the way the fundraising is set up on the event. There's no charge to do this integration at all with the 250 charities onboarded already. They all have their Stripe connected as well. So just like you received the ticketing funds in real time, the charity gets all the fundraising money in real time as well, because they all have connected charity accounts. So you might want to partner with a single charity, split the money equally between certain charities, but the most common one and the default option on the Cycling Ireland campaigns is that all charities are available for selection. Again, I think it's quite surprising for people. It's you know, they could have something going on, and it's just simply giving them the option to be there. I think a lot of people have been really happy with the difference that's been made through it. So the pages, say for example, if you wanted to partner with a specific charity, the pages can automatically be created for people as they register. So for example, Cycle Against Suicide would do all their events through us as well, and this would be what they would do, for example. You can do, and then again, so the yes, no can be defaulted to yes, and they'd have to turn off the fundraising if they'd like to. In terms of marketing promotions, this is huge. So as you can imagine, as soon as people register, they're getting a link to their fundraising page, and they're sharing it on their social media channels to get donations. All the fundraising pages have a link to the event. So basically, you're getting free advertising of your event through all your participants who are fundraising and sharing their pages. We've seen countless times as well, and there's a lot of more media coverage of the event as well. And again, the more the event is shared online, the more people are going to take part together, increasing registrations for you. For kind of specific charity events, again, some organisers would opt to have people, share why they're taking part. Again, this is amazing marketing materials in terms of engaging with your participants in terms of why they're taking part of the event. You'll benefit hugely as well from the charities that are on the platform, because they're going to be sharing the events as well, and benefiting from their ambassadors too, in terms of their marketing channels and pushing for people to take part as well. There's built-in marketing tools into the I'll show you here now, the fundraising aspect as well. So if we do set up custom campaigns, there is a default Cycling Ireland campaign as well. But for example, if you had your own specific one, we can customize this for you. I think we have one recently with, is it Toby? But yeah, you'll have your own campaign page, just like this, that we can customize for you. Basically, there'll be a register now button for the event. I think this event is past, so it's gone. And you'll have your fundraising leaderboard. People can donate directly to the chosen charity, and they can register for the event. And you have a fundraiser of the week feature as well, and a load of other different built-in marketing options in there too. And again, at the end of the event, all your sponsors will see the total amount that was raised for the charity as well. The biggest one obviously would be the Dublin Marathon campaign. So if you wanted to say get specific sponsorship from local companies, or if you're looking for a flagship sponsor, again, it's an amazing tool to say, look, like this year we raised 73,000, and this is where the money went, the specific charities that were benefited, because a lot of companies, and obviously it's part of different CSR initiatives that they're involved in, different things that are benefiting their local community. Again, we call it a win-win-win because charities benefit directly. They get the fundraising funds in real time. There's no cost to charities to use the platform. There's no cost for you to do the fundraising integration. We customize all that for you. And again, participants get that feel-good factor then from making a difference while taking part in the event. Again, just all the support resources there. I'll send out the link to the organizer hub, and just to show you as well before we finish up. I don't want to go too much over time. If there's any questions, I don't think there's any more after coming in, but feel free to pop them in now and we can kind of do a final run through as well before we finish up. So yeah, within your event management, you have the option to manage your orders. So for example, these are all just test ones here, Joe Blogs. So yeah, you can basically go in and view any of the orders. You can amend people's details yourself by clicking on the edit button. You can resend confirmation emails, download tickets. You can change the distance manually for people as well. So just to show you, I'm just going to click on change ticket type. and they're changing, say, from the 5K to the 10K. Issue new ticket. So yeah, there's loads of different options there. And if you have any additional purchases, you can add these on as well and send payment links to the customer. And I think another big one would
just
be
cancelling refunds there as well. That'd be a big one for event organisers. That they cancel and refund to be able to
so for
have the ability to do that.
For the cancel and refund, for the usually there's two. If you have, say, sold postage or t-shirts or anything else on the event, you'll have a cancel order button down here. So the cancel order, which would be like a big light blue button like this, will refund the whole order. Whereas if you click on, say, cancel in this section here, it just cancels that specific ticket. So just to show you, I'll click on cancel. This is a free ticket, so there isn't even a refund option. But if you want to, say, cancel a ticket without a refund, so for example, if a person wanted to defer to next year, you might want to cancel without a refund and give them just 100% discount code to register themselves for next year. This would be a really handy way of doing that. If your event for next year happens to be set up already, or you have multiple events on the platform that you have access to, you can use the change event option. So you just select your other event here as well, and you can swap them over. Another query, to go through as well that came in was the way to take on the day registrations. It will look slightly different for you. The only addition would be the Cycling Ireland membership number that would be asked for. If you say that they're not a Cycling Ireland member, then the €20 one-day license fee for their insurance will be there as well. So again, really handy just for on-the-day registrations to make sure that they're covered by insurance if they are registered on the day. So yeah, that would be done through orders and doors open mode. So all you'd have to fill in is their first name, last name, their email address, and you'll have to type in their card details. You have the option as well to assign a race number. So again, really handy just to do the two and the one at the one time. Reports, we've had big updates here in the last while. So just to show you, when you go in, you'll see all your live events. Just to click into one, you'll have your event summary. This gives the breakdown of the ticket sales, your revenue, the ticket type breakdown. It'll give you a day-by-day overview of ticket sales as well. So this is just a good kind of catch-all option. Your financial reports, you can download that here. It'll show you all the different transaction IDs and everything that's gone on through Stripe. And the biggest one is obviously your booking report. So this will download all your participant information. So all the questions that are in the order form, that will all be pulled in here. Any additional purchases, any fundraising pages, that's all brought in here. And then optionally, you can download your additional purchases report separately then as well. Perfect. Apologies if that was really fast. Again, any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But again, there's a wealth of support through the Organizer Hub with screenshots, videos, it's more visual as well, similar to the webinars. Yeah, and if you have any other suggestions in terms of any other support materials you'd like, definitely let us know. And thanks so much for spending the evening with us. Sinead and Aaron, anything from your side you'd like to go through before we finish up?
You, Aaron, no, I'm all good. No, yeah. So if you need any help, or we're definitely here to help and get the events live as soon as we can. But we do want to give the power to the event organisers to go in and manage the event as much as possible they can. We can go in and get it live and just have a once look over it. That's what our aim is, to kind of get to that point where event organisers are going in and doing all of this themselves to the way they want it done, you know. So yeah, thanks so much, Dan.
Yeah, I've nothing else to add, just to echo what Denise just said there. You know, at the end of the day, it's your event, you're the event organizer. We're not mind readers, so we're very dependent on you to input the correct data or to send it across to the events team if you don't have access to change it. In my experience organizing cycling events, the only way you really get used to the systems is just by getting straight in there and doing it yourself, or you're just going to be constantly dependent on the national federation to do it for you, which isn't fun for anyone. So yeah, no, thanks Leanne for doing this tonight.
No bother, guys. Thanks so much for coming along with me. Hopefully everyone found it useful, and yeah, like that, we're here to help, and if there's anything you need, just let us know. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.